never take me alive. I'm getting high with my 4-5. Cops on me, sucker, time to die. Even as a youngster, causing ruckus on the back of the bus. I was a fool all through high school, kicking up dust. But now I'm labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed up, we take away the pain. So I'm hopeless, rolling down the freeway, swerving. Don't worry, I'm about to crash upon the curb. Cause my business bloody, baby, if they try to understand me. What should I do? I had to feed my fucking family. What else could I do? Or be a thug? I'm slanging with the homies, fuck hanging with them phonies in the club. Got my mind on danger. Never been a stranger to homicide. My city's full of gangbangers and drive-bys. Why do we die at an early age? He was so young, but still a victim of the 12 gauge. I'm memories of a corpse, mind full of sick thoughts, and I ain't going back to court. So fuck what you thought. I'm drinking Hennessy, running from my enemies. When I live a beat 23, there's so much pain.
Welcome everybody. How is everybody? Good to see everyone on YouTube, everyone on X, and everyone here in the chat on Rumble. It's good to see you guys. Hey Maga. Hey Amy. Hey Janine. Hey Grandma. Hope she's getting to feeling better. She wasn't feeling very good at all. But everyone, please like, share, and follow. And also, that was the merchandise that we have at the moment. We have a whole lot more, but go to www.dacustoms.com. And you can also call 781-389-8179. So many wonderful things on there. Custom orders if you like. And right now, if you use shipping code free shipping 40, when you order, you pay no shipping. It's all free. It is what it is, and very affordable. Very affordable. Good to see everybody. It has just been crazy week. I saw a little bit of what happened today, but I didn't see too much of a difference. I did see the one video, see if I can find it in here, where Trump is asked questions about Kamala, about her an Indian or being black. Let's watch.
Taken two of them, but I'll do it again.
Mr. President, how do you intend to...
I suggested, Harris, that let's take one. I said, Joe and I will go and take a cognitive test. Now, I'd do it with her, too. I would do it with her also. You know what? She failed her law exam. She didn't pass her law exam, so maybe she wouldn't pass the cognitive test.
Mr. President,
are you saying she wouldn't pass? Just to be clear,
I'm just giving you the facts.
To be clear, you don't think Harris?
How do you intend?
She didn't pass her bar exam, and she didn't think she would pass it, and she didn't think she was going to ever pass it. And I don't know what happened. Maybe she passed it.
She did pass it.
There's a man over here. I think he must work.
Mr. President, I would.
Now there's a video they asked about her talking about being black. And he asking him questions. He's like, look, I don't care either way. But I thought she was Indian. I really did. I thought she was Indian as well because of, that's what she stated many times. So all the way back to 2016. That's all she said. She actually did a cooking show with this one actress because this actress is Indian. And listen to what she says to her.
Okay, so what we're going to cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because Yes.
You are Indian.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people
You
we're
do.
related already,
Yeah.
so this is perfect. It's basically true. And so were you raised eating South Indian food?
South Indian food.
So so they want to get mad at him because he's only stating fact of what she stated. I mean, they try to erase everything from the internet. Every bit of it. Every single bit. Yeah, Grandma, we pray that you get well. She hasn't been feeling well. I love this part of it, MAGA. What has been yesterday and tomorrow will be a burden yet to come that will can and reflect on after and call it yesterday. That makes two of us, but it makes for great TikTok content for the creators. It does. She is crazy. I swear she is crazy. It's like she's needing the black votes, so now she's going to say she's black. And some people believe that. There's many actually that do believe that she is black. I'm trying to see if I can find the one video to where they pretty much scolded him for the questions they were asking. I thought I'd loaded it in here. Can't remember if I did. Anyway, so I got on this kick today to where I started watching these videos. Actually, MAGA Brat's wife, Heather, sent it to me, and I was listening to him. Great podcast. John Colin, he was talking about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, and he actually was breaking things down in a ballistic point of view. Instead of just watching it, he was actually, I guess he has a lot of experience in this. And I first come across these two videos.
Guys, I'm up here on the building where the supposed sniper took a shot. It's not that steep at all. Just had a 70-year-old man back here climb up on the roof easily. See that water tower behind me? Had Secret Service or anybody had sniper teams up there, this guy wouldn't have made it 5 feet up this roof. He would have been taken out. Behind me, you see the windows that Secret Service was supposedly in the second floor of this building behind. Makes you wonder why they weren't able to quickly dispatch the individual. And then behind me, back over here where those red roofs are, that's where the stage was set up. That's where the president was giving his speech from. A lot of questions here in Butler, but we look forward to doing oversight and getting to the bottom of it and making sure it never happens again.
I mean, Butler, I don't know how many people live in Butler, Pennsylvania, but imagine you've got Secret Service trying to put the blame on their local police department. Pretty much trying to say they're incompetent and it's their fault. Donald Trump, past president and possible future president, attempted assassination in this town. And they're just trying to pass the buck on to him. I don't blame them for wanting to find out the truth. I would too, because this leaves a very, it's historical mark of a negative mark on the police department there. And I live in a small town and our police department does a really good job. And I'm sure that town knows people, families, and the fireman that had got shot. I'm sure he was very close to the officers. I mean, so you really have to sit back and think, you know, here we've got Secret Service blaming all this shit on local police department when they wanted to have the meeting that morning, but they wasn't given any information. They wasn't told what to do except traffic. And they still, and you're going to tell me after the committee asked questions yesterday to the new head of Secret Service now, they asked him point blank who was responsible, who was supposed to be posted on that post on that roof. I don't know. I have to check them in. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. If you do not have a plan of action in place, and if you do not have a plan of an event done long time before, weeks ahead, usually, and you know exactly what positions, and you know the roof would have been one of the most major places, the high points that you would have been guarding. You know you would have been doing that. But you chose not to, and you chose to not answer the questions that you were asked because you know you're complicit in this. You're totally complicit in this. Every single bit of it. The new video of the audience behind Trump showing crooks is all anyone should need to know inside job. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, here is this video. And I just caught this where you can actually see them running across the top of the roof. And we have Secret Service. It was right there. Right there. And you had a 2-story. You had windows. And we watched the one video the other night of them out in front. Another gentleman had the video of it. And they're telling at 5:02, the cop has got, one of the police officers has his weapon drawn. And you got to think, some of these police officers have probably never been in a high-risk situation. Some probably have never had to pull their gun. It's possible. But to be in a situation like this, imagine what they're going through, especially when everybody's blaming them. Well, John Cullen went on Tommy's podcast here on Rumble, and he broke it down a little bit as to how we could understand some of the things of how it works. Now, I took a few little notes, if I can even read my own handwriting, because I was doing it pretty fast. Okay, the water tower is about 280 yards away, but that was outside the perimeter of what Secret Service was supposed to be. They said in their perimeter area that they wasn't responsible for, but they do just a certain area. Then you've got, I'm learning this, I could be wrong, but you have to set the scope because they had the 2 snipers up there. I don't believe those 2 snipers were, I don't know. They possibly could have been Secret Service snipers. I don't know. They could have been states, Secret Service snipers. I don't know. They're not giving us any answers to these questions. But it's like a 10 to 12 mile an hour winds that day. So that would have messed the trajectory up if you had your scope sighted and if you didn't know exactly the windage of that. Just by, a hair, or they call it 1 click. So the difference between what happened to Trump, it was a third of the MOA at 288 yards. That was about a third of 2.5 inches away from hitting him in the eye, which would have been a kill shot. It would have been a kill shot, period. If it was 1 click, and that's all it took, 1 click, and it would have been a complete kill shot to him. But why didn't they have any of these places covered? Why weren't any of these places covered? That's questions I would like to have answered. And let's see. All right, we're going to start with. All right, we're going to start with this one.
Is what happened to him? Why does he tumble down like this? And was he perfectly okay? Does he get up and brush himself off and go, wow, that was some moth? What's the story? Where are all these back row people? I want to talk to the people that were in the back row of these bleachers. And I want to hear what this flinch was all about. I want to go back to the flinch, because the flinch to me is really the simplest evidence of this kinetic event. Although it's basic, there's not much to it. What you're seeing here is, it's hard to say that this is not happening, right? I mean, you see everybody in this row is flinching at the same time. Now watch. I mean, come on. To me, this is evidence of a kinetic event. Something is happening in this row. The lady's thing goes, the white short guy falls down, everybody's doubling over, and it hits the rail all at the same time. What that means is that this shot is not coming from the roof of the glass building, and that gives us a second shooter. And that's what created all of the hullabaloo. So that's the tweet that gets to 6 million views. Everybody's looking at that and going, what?
Okay, so he believes that there, like we've all believed, that there was a second shooter. But we like to know a little bit more from a ballistic standpoint, because a lot of people question what we talk about. Oh, well, you can't just do that from a video. And I'm with him. That was a kinetic, man. What it is, it's like the force of a bullet in the wind. And something happening that is relevant but not relevant at that moment. That was relevant because they felt something, and each one of their arms went up because they felt, you know what I'm saying? They felt something. And as it went forward, it ended up, as we've seen on that video, a man who has a white shirt and white shorts on, and he goes down. We're thinking that that's Corey. We're thinking he got shot. That wasn't Corey. That wasn't the guy by the railing that actually, when his hand got hit. And then you see the puff of smoke. That was the first shot. Now, with the first shot, you're going to try to hit your target straight on. That would be my assumption. You're going to try to hit the target straight on. That was the first shot. And I believe it was meant to take out the Secret Service if they were snipers. That was meant to take out the snipers. Because if you go back and you watch the videos of the snipers, you will see the one holding the tripod with the weapon, and you'll have the other guy, which is, I guess, he's the lookout or whatever. You will see him at this point in time curl up in a ball in the fetal position, no legs out. And you'll see the other sniper actually picks up the tripod. Actually picks up the tripod. And you should know you cannot set that tripod down and know your line of sight at that point. So I don't know if these were Secret Service snipers or if these were just state snipers. But I believe the first shot went straight. And that's the shot that missed the snipers and went to the bleachers. But the guy in the white shirt and the white shorts, he has never been talked to, and he has never been found. Who is he? Who is he? That's a good question. Who the heck is the guy in the white shirt and white shorts? Very interesting.
Take a look what happened.
Okay. I'm playing it over and over again. That's one shot.
Yeah.
Playing the same shot over and over and over again. Trump is talking. And Trump is speaking, and you see puff. Is there a shot prior to that? One more time.
See something that said, take a look what happened.
So the question is that the first shot?
To my uninitiated,
hitting the rail.
Yeah, to my uninitiated mind with ballistics and shooting, I would say you should be able to see the puff before you hear it, but I also don't know, is it coming from behind? It might be that the sound wave's hitting you. It depends how close it is. Is the shooter 5 miles away or 50 feet from you? Then it starts to, for all intents and purposes, seem like it's happening in simultaneity. I don't know. I don't hear anything before. I hear almost.
That's a great asterisk. Okay, now hang on. This is an important asterisk. Let me explain to the audience if they didn't quite catch what you just said.
Okay.
I'm testing my understanding. All right, so this is me mirroring back to you what I think I hear you saying. It seems anomalous that we would hear the bang and see the puff of smoke at the same time from a camera set up at this distance. A camera set up at this distance, we would expect to see the puff of smoke and hear the bang maybe a quarter of a second later, half a second later, because this camera is not as close as this. This is zoomed in from, the moon here. And so I believe what you're suggesting is this is maybe a bit anomalous. This might take an asterisk because I'm seeing the puff of smoke and hearing the boom at the exact same time. That's a little odd.
So
am I right? Is that what you're suggesting, or
yeah? So there's like a hyper realistic shooting game, audio wise, called Ground Branch. Oddly enough, the CIA branch, but it's I love it because like if there's like a pile of gravel nearby and you shoot it with a silencer, it's simultaneous. You hear like it poof, you see it poof, and you hear it poof. If you go walk like 100 meters and go shoot the side of a building, you know whatever the travel time of the bullet is. And then it's calculated just perfectly. Oof, you hear the delay. So it depends if someone's right next to the railing, or let's say the camera was right there. Sure, you would now if you slowed it down to like a trillion frames, of course it's going to be different. But for all intents and purposes, if I go bang, you're going to hear bang, see poof. But if you're seeing poof the same time, I guess it's possible. I don't know anything about ballistics. I guess it's possible. But if the bullets,
it's anomalous.
Let's say the bullet's coming from behind the camera. Maybe you would say it syncs up. I don't know. I don't know enough about ballistics. I don't know anything about ballistics.
All right. I think it's a great point. And when I look at evidence like this, and you bring up a sort of like a counterpoint, could this be monkeying with the evidence in some way? Not maliciously, just because it's kind of weird. I agree with your observation. To me, the fact that we're seeing the puff of smoke and hearing the boom at the exact same time with a microphone that's maybe, almost 100 yards from here seems odd, doesn't it?
It does seem odd because you see the poof and you're still hearing Trump speak before that final shot comes through. But you hear those bullets are pow, 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 like single pull back. Not the automatic that you hear later on. Now listen to this video.
So he's looking over his right-hand shoulder towards the direction of the shooter, and he's glancing up and over his right shoulder. And in fact, let's use that 90-degree walkway. He's got a walkway set up to get up to the stage, right? What would you say the height is of the stage that the president is standing on? Look at the 6'3" Secret Service guy that's standing there with the weird haircut. It looks to me like that stage is 4 feet off the ground. What would you say?
Minimum 4. Yeah, minimum 4, 4.5, 5.
All right, so let's just go with 4. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
We're at 4 feet. All right, we got how many steps up? The Secret Service guy who's standing there, he's got 1, 2, 3 to get up to the first platform, and then another 1, 2, 3 steps to get up. I don't think that's 36 and 30. It's definitely not 6 feet. So, yeah, about 4.5 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, 50 inches, something like that. Okay. Now, Trump is 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're aiming at 6 feet. You're aiming 3 inches below the top of his head. You're aiming at 6 feet plus 4 feet is 10 feet from ground level.
Yeah.
So your target is 10 feet from ground level. How high up is the guy with the flag who gets hit in the torso? Because if he's above 10 feet, you've got a rising shot.
Yeah, how high are the bleachers?
How high are the bleachers? How high are the bleachers? So we're going to come back to that. The president is gesturing towards what? We know his head is 10 feet above the ground. Now he's gesturing.
Guys, take a look at that chart.
Now, the red walkway, see that red walkway to get up to the top there?
Yeah.
That's at 90 degrees. All right. So that's at 90 degrees. Let's take a look at that.
He's pointing not quite at it. He's pointing farther away from it.
A little further away. Yeah. Let me pull up the infographic again.
Yeah.
I think we got our infographic.
So it's 90 degrees and he's going a little farther back over his shoulder.
Right. A little bit. Just a little bit. Maybe if that's 90, maybe he's pointing at 100.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question then becomes, if the president, if Donald Trump is in fact glancing over at the Jumbotron, and did you hear what he said at the Republican convention? He said, if I didn't turn my head at the last minute, I'd be gone, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we said that,
So
right?
something along the, yeah.
All right. He said, if I didn't turn my head at the last minute, I'd be gone.
Yeah.
All right. So if in fact he is glancing at the Jumbotron, how does Crooks hit him in the right ear?
Well, yeah, no. If his crowd's to the left of this picture, crowd's to his left, he pans to the right. Yeah, no, that would for sense. That would make sense. Crook shoots him through right ear.
No. Look where he's glancing. He's glancing beyond this red walkway here. You see this red walkway?
Oh, I see you. Yeah, I see you.
He's turning past to this red line. I got a dotted red line at the Jumbotron. He is glancing at and gesturing towards the Jumbotron.
You'd have to go back and see how does his head align with his arm. Is it because he can point farther back and not look all the way, or he can point and go full owl and move his head. So if he's going full owl, it has to come from somewhere else. If he's not and it's just his arm, it could still be Crooks.
So exactly right. You got it right. You nailed it. So the question is, where is his head, and has he given us verbal? Has he given us any verbal confirmation of where his head was? And what he said at the Democratic or the Republican National Convention was, if I didn't turn my head at that last minute, I'd be gone. If I didn't turn my head at that last minute, I'd be gone.
No, his head's not parallel with his arm. His chin should be farther to the right. If it was,
well, this isn't when he gets shot. This isn't the moment he gets shot.
Oh, sorry. Right? Yeah. All right.
So my point here is, he is talking to the audience, glancing at the Jumbotron, talking to the audience, glancing at the Jumbotron. This is what he's doing. But every time he's glancing at the Jumbotron, it's important to understand it's over his shoulder. It's not out at 90 degrees. He's glancing over his shoulder when he does this. It's 90 degrees is the red walkway. Okay? Watch.
Yeah, okay.
Guys, take a look at that chart.
All right, he's past 90 degrees. Keep watching.
Look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow?
What's he looking at?
Now his head's more lined up with the arm.
Right?
He's looking at the chart.
So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount
turns back
of illegal immigration ever in recorded history.
He says at the Republican National Convention, if I didn't turn my head at the last second, I'd be gone.
Our country. And then...
Is he gesturing at 90 degrees, or is he gesturing at 110 degrees? Because if he's gesturing and glancing at 110 degrees...
his right ear is not.
Crooks can't hit him in the right ear. Crooks would be hitting him in the left temple if he's glancing at the Jumbotron.
So this window, you can't see, you can hear it. This window right here is perfectly 90 degrees to me. He's looking way. If there's a shooter out there, if I'm just pointing out the window, I'm like, hey John, look at my new view. You could slice my ear. But if I'm pointing back to, I don't know, these windows or this cabinet over to you, I go, hey, you could still hit me, but you couldn't hit my right. You couldn't physically. The only way you could hit my right ear is through my head.
That's it. So you've got the orange yellowish line here is where the shooter is on the rooftop of the glass building.
Fuck.
The dotted line is his line of sight to the jumbotron.
Yeah.
So if he's glancing at the jumbotron, if his head's cocked that way, his right ear is not in the line of fire from Crooks. It would be his left temple.
Yeah.
The bullet would have entered here, Tommy. It would have come right in his left temple.
Yeah.
Right.
Immediate kill shot.
Over. So the fact that he acknowledges it verbally, the fact that at the Republican National Convention he said, if I didn't turn my head at that last minute, I'd be gone. We're watching him right now pointing in the direction of the jumbotron on the video. And in the video that we're watching, where he's pointing in the direction of the jumbotron, it's clearly him pointing over his shoulder beyond the 90 degrees, which is demarked by the red walkway. He's pointing over
the arrow
his shoulder.
on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look.
There's no way to hit him in the right ear from the glass factory with that shot. That's not a shot.
That arrow.
The only way to hit him in the right ear is from somewhere else. And if he's looking at the billboard, the question is, well, then where else might you be in order to hit him in that ear? And it appears that dotted line goes back to the water tower. So that if you're glancing at the jumbotron from the podium, directly behind that is the water tower. All right. So let's take a look at a little bit more content here, and we'll see what you think of this.
You're not sharing?
I got it.
Oh, sorry. I thought
I'm slow.
No, you're good. I thought no, you're good.
All right, bear with me. Here we go.
Okay, I'm going to show you that part. But he makes a lot of sense. So this would prove that the second shooter now, if you go on, this was like an hour and a half podcast. I took excerpts from it. But let's watch the part where he is talking about where this lines went to and the water tower. I had not seen this part. I only had seen that one video of the water tower. Watch.
We've got a diagram of the venue. The shooter's on the roof off to the left. You see his location. There's a bunch of cops standing around the pool of blood, probably hosing it off and destroying evidence.
Well, they did do that.
All right, so he's off to the left. The fire chief, Comparatori, who gets shot, he's represented on the left-hand side bleachers as a red stick figure. You see him?
Mm-hmm.
Fire chief. Okay, it's fire chief. The bleachers on the right-hand side, you see a blue stick figure and a white stick figure. The blue stick, again, I'm a little dyslexic and partially retarded. So I should have made the white guy is the guy in the shorts and the white shirt. But the net of it is the little blue stick figure is the guy with the white shorts and the white shirt. The white stick figure is one of the guys in the back corner near where we see the puff of smoke. Turns out that the people in the back corner are in the firing line of Crooks. Okay? And it turns out you're going to see a couple of them get shot. And I believe that they may be getting shot by Crooks. But they may not. And that's what we're going to take a look at. Because when we see the guy in the white shorts and the white shirt fall down, and we see everybody in the row flinch at the same time, that's what I call evidence of a kinetic event. There's something happening down that row, and we see it hit the railing. Well, 2 points makes a line. Okay? If I extend that line down that row, where does it go? Where's that red line go? If that shot's coming down from the left to the right, we go back up that red line. And now we're at the Secret Service counter snipers on the roof. They are taking fire.
Okay.
And again, ask all your special forces friends and ask them, hey guys, if you were planning a mission to take out bad guys like this, and assume it was all this except it was a bad guy and we had to take him out, would you take out the snipers first, or would you guys just ignore the snipers and pretend they're not there while you carry out your thing? Or would taking out the snipers maybe be the best first shot to take? You can ask them that, and I'll have a good idea what kind of response we're going to get.
Yeah, no, I've already got a note to send this episode to him. No, but I just think about Ghost Recon, playing Ghost Recon Wildlands. No, if you have 3 teammates, you can hit your AI teammates. You can sync it up, and you hit 4 snipers and 4 watchtowers. You take them down. The second thing you do is you shoot the power.
Okay, I gotta load the one I gotta get to. So, what are you guys understanding from it? Exactly. We know how to dig and do research to get the facts. Exactly. So, this video here is the one I was talking about. Excuse me. So, from what I'm gathering with it, now we're getting to where we know, okay, where it was coming from crooks, that was what was to take out the snipers. Then that's what you want to do. Take out the snipers, the Secret Service, anyone that would be protecting the target. Why was that one shot? That's what he's trying to prove. It wasn't meant for Trump. That shot was not meant for Trump. That shot was meant for the snipers, and it went through, missed the snipers, and hit the bleachers. But there's a guy in the white outfit, because that same bullet, it did, one of the bullets did kill Corey. But the other bullet went back and hit the people in the whole line of the bleachers. And that's why I was showing you when that one, it hit the railing, you see. It was meant for the snipers. It was meant to take them out. That way it wouldn't take them out. Now, why would you want to take 2 snipers out? You would take them out because you know that they would be able to find out where you're at, because they apparently knew exactly where these snipers were positioned and where they were none at the same time. Let me download this. I promise, guys, we're getting to it. I just got to load this one. Does it make sense to you? You guys understanding it? Yes. They intended to do, absolutely, they intended to do mass killing. They intended to take out these snipers. That way the snipers first couldn't protect anyone and couldn't take them out. Now, whoever it was, this was planned effort, because they knew exactly where the snipers were positioned, which it would have been hard to see, but they knew exactly how many snipers were there and where they were at. They left the fence line open. Okay, it's almost loaded. Well, that would destroy the element of surprise to take out the snipers first. No, right. It would take out what, because if there's multiple, everything would happen instantaneously. You would have one taking out the snipers, then you would have the other one to where they had the ability to have a kill shot to Trump. No questions asked. They would have had no one to be able to take the sniper out, because the sniper would have been here.
Uh-oh. Where are they running to? Thank you, Trump! Thank you, Trump! Thank you, Trump! Thank you, Trump!
Have you seen this yet?
No. They're clearly, oh man. Yeah, little shadow on the middle of the fuck.
I didn't catch this first one.
moved. Yeah.
What you know about rolling down? So, if there is a shooter on top of the water tower,
then
they have a clear shot at the podium. If the president is glancing at the podium, then this guy's got the shot. Now, let's see what else we've got here. We've got some more content. This is another angle trying to figure out, do we see anything up on the water tower at all? Or is this just a shadow and there's nothing going on? You know, again, we know there's no Secret Service up there because Secret Service has a clear view of the top of the building. Would have put one in the back, in the kid's back, right? I mean, watching them crawling around with a gun, it would have been over before it started. So let's watch this footage. This is, again, taken from so far away, trying to figure out, do we see any movement? All we're looking for is the tiniest bit of movement. That's it.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's
I'm sorry. I'm a ding dong.
You're good. Should use a AI ups the good Tensor Pix, TENSOR. They do video upscale.
Send me an email. Shoot me an email. Tell me what to get, and I'll get it for you. I'll get it. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at this footage and see, do you see any movement?
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
You even see it firing.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
See, I missed it. I'd seen the videos of it, but I had missed that part of that video. You know, we just saw them running. We saw the officers running where they were running to. So if you go on, you listen to further in that was mind-blowing. Imagine watching that today and boom, is like, oh my God. And this is from a ballistic point of view, putting this together. Measurements, you name it, angles, you name it. And he's a specialist in this. So there were 3 shooters, because later on in the segment, he talks about how someone had to have he talks about a tree stand. If you ever went deer hunting, I went deer hunting. I just didn't want to kill Bambi. I just sat up there with my beer and got drunk in my tree stand. And it has a rope tied to it, so you can tie your weapon or you can tie what you want and you drag it up. But when you use a climbing tree stand, you have to put both your legs on it and you climb it up. And I'm sure others know what I'm talking about. So he believes that there was one in the tree line. And he believes that's the shot that killed Corey. He believes that there was crooks on the roof. That's the shot that took out, that was going to take out the snipers. Okay, you see how it's lining up? That was going to take out the snipers. So then it didn't take out the snipers, so it went and traveled in I think there was multiple shots of that went to all those people in the back of the bleachers. But the guy in the white shirt and white shorts, he has never been accounted for. Never has been spoken about. And I've seen videos of them carrying a man out. And everybody's saying, has everyone forgotten about this man? I have not seen nothing from it. We've not heard anything from the people that were in the back of those bleachers. And every single one of them lifted their arm at the same time because they felt the bullet of the pressure of the air. And that was the kinetic energy right there. And then the dude in the white goes down. So then you had the kill shot. The kill shot. It would have had to be the left side. And he got hit in the right side. So that sniper didn't account for the 10 to 12 mile hour winds. That's why I stated all that in the beginning. And he was up high enough. High enough. They are hiding the truth. They know every single. Y'all, my shit's acting crazy. Guess somebody don't like what I'm saying. But there were three. You guys still there? That means they took out one. That is crazy also about the people in the back of the bleachers not being shown. Exactly. But do research on kinetic energy and activity. That could be anything from where the wind made a coffee cup go in your hand or anything. But every single one of them lifted their arms at the exact same time. At the exact same time.
Is what happened to him? Why does he tumble down like this? And was he perfectly okay? Does he get up and brush himself off and go, wow, that was some moth? What, like, who is, what's the story? Where are all these back row people? I want to talk to the people that were in the back row of these bleachers. And I want to hear what this flinch was all about. I want to go back to the flinch, because the flinch to me is really the simplest evidence of this kinetic event. Although it's, it's basic, there's not much to it. What you're seeing here is, it's hard to say that this is not happening, right? I mean, you see everybody in this row is flinching at the same time. Now watch.
Watch. This is impossible. Impossible.
I mean, come on. To me, this is evidence of a kinetic event. Something is happening in this row. The lady's thing goes, the white short guy falls down, everybody's doubling over, and it hits the rail all at the same time.
And you see the poof of smoke after it hits. And if you listen when Trump is talking, that was the initial first shot. That shot, now think about it, you're going to make your first shot count. Why were they aiming at the snipers and not aiming at Trump? You couldn't hit Trump from that distance. You had to get a higher elevation. You had to get higher to have a kill shot that was straight. And that's the water tower. I mean, everybody say, well, that could just something black on top of the water tower. But if you do the math and you do the angles and you do the trajectory and you do the height of the stage like he did, the 90-degree angles, there's no way Crooks could have hit Trump in the right ear. It would have went in the left temple. By the way, he had turned his head, held his arm up, and it was at a 90-degree point, period. Only way that happened was someone on top of that water tower. The highest point. Why do you think they protect the highest point? Why do you think they do that? That's why they wanted to take out. And I really believe they wanted this simultaneously done. This is their plan of what was going to happen. They had these explosives set up too. Some of the explosives were set where gas lines were. This was going to be undoubtedly the 2024 9/11 of mass casualties. But see, they didn't expect God to intervene. They didn't expect Trump to survive. They do not have a clue, and they had no idea of how to fix it, because they in their minds thought, without a shadow of a doubt, we have 3 shooters and one of them again him. Think about it. One of them again him. period. And they did not win. Satan, you lost. The thing about it is, at this point now, there's two more that were there. The sniper and the other. And they always talk about the guy in the gray suit that wanted certain pictures taken of his body, of Crook's body shot, sent to a certain number. Who was that guy? Was he the sniper? There's evidence, video evidence of people actually saying they saw a guy on top of the water tower. So many have been saying they saw someone on that water tower. But where's the guy in the white outfit? Where's all those people that were in the back of the bleachers? Secret Service, it's a major cover-up. This was highly planned. And did you know that American Glass, the glass building, the glass company there, I did some research on it. I haven't done deep. I'm going to do deep. But what I did realize was they make certain plastics that are bulletproof. And there's ones called FOIA. Back in 2010, 2016, 2018, I believe it was 2018 for sure. I have it written down. Obama made a documentary about American glass companies with China, and they'd actually made a deal with American Glass Company. See, American Glass Company has been in business in 1927. And guess who their original owners were? One of the families. One of the 13 families. And then every single one of them, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, are all invested in that company. Every single one. So every single one invested in that company. And then Obama did a documentary. Of course, the documentary flopped. It was on Netflix. But it talked about the glass company. Now I'm going to go a bit further. I'm going to dig a little bit more. I didn't have time. I did a lot of digging on this. But there were 3 shooters, guys. One was in the tree. And if you watch one guy's video, that's why they all wanted to take... I'm sorry, OG. I'm hooked up. I think they don't like what I'm having to say. So this is what's happening. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm hooked up. I can try to hook up to a different internet. Hang on. Is that better? Is that better? This is the first night my podcast is ever frozen up, isn't it, guys? First night. Think about all this. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. But see, we the people, we don't stop. We will keep digging and we'll keep finding the truth. They can sit there and say that they can't. Yeah, it was going to be a 911 tragedy style. Why is Congress dragging those SSs that were questioning them front? Okay, everybody thinks just because they answered a few questions, they answered. No. The first day of questioning, when they had shit, I call her shit, that was up there, the woman that resigned, they just wanted to know what questions they were asking. She left, she wouldn't answer. They come back with a new person. She resigns. That person answers those questions that were asked the first time around. They felt the American people would be okay with those specific questions answered. New questions arise, and we got the same retort bullshit. But people are like, oh, okay, well, they told us this. They told us this. Oh, yeah, the 13 families always have their hands in shit. But this was going to be the event that everyone talks about that would happen before the elections, and it would have thrown who knows who they would have blamed it on. This would have been their opportunity. They could have blamed it on third world. They could have blamed it on, anyone overseas. So this messed up their entire plan. Trump survived. Crooks got taken out. We just don't know where that one guy is and those people that were on the back of the bleachers. We don't have a clue where they were, because that was two separate sides. You see what I'm saying? Where Corey was in the bleachers there, that's one area. And then the other guy that was in the corner of the right. The other ones that you have in the very back, that's the other shots that didn't hit anyone. That's what I'm saying. This was going to be their opportunity to blame, let's say, Iran or whoever. And what would that have done, especially if it had made a new 9/11 in 2024? Imagine what that would have done. That would have kick-started us into a war. That would have, because why do you think they enlisted, they made the draft go in right before all this, to where you didn't even have to sign up. You were already in. They had everything laid out in play. They were going to play their hand. This was their hand. This was where they put all their eggs. They put all their eggs in this one basket. And it was right there with Trump. They were going to get rid of him. And they were going to get rid of so many people who knows, there may not have been. And how many people were there? Wasn't there like 10,000 people there or something like that, or 13,000? And 9/11 was almost, 4,000? So imagine the devastation that would have happened and who they would have blamed and how much of a war that would have kickstarted. But see, every single one of those plans were faulted. Done. They can't do that now. And they didn't expect that to not happen. They had 3 shooters. Think about it. They thought it was foolproof. Period. Don't forget, they already tried blaming it on Iran, saying Crooks was funded and supported by Iran. No, that's a lie. They was going to try and send us a message too. Exactly. They were going to try to scare MAGA, because think about it. They take Trump out. Who would they really, you know what I'm saying? They already got their army built. They've let so many illegals in of age fighting men. They've already got their particular army, to put us MAGAs in their little fucked up camps or whatever you want to call it. They had a plan, but that plan didn't work. So now they throw Kamala up there. They had to get rid of Joe. Why? Because JoJo probably knew some of this stuff, and they were afraid that JoJo's going to run his mouth. He's going to start rambling about something, and we're going to put 2 and 2 together. He's a liability. They're going to control his mouth, his thoughts, and everything. You will not see him talking as often. They're too afraid that he would run his mouth. So they put Kamala up there. She'll do the bidding now. You got Act Blue. All this money that's being funded into Act Blue by them using all these elderly people's names that have donated $5 or $10. It is laundering. It is laundering. But at least now people are starting to wake up to this. Because in Carolina Wren, she calls for a RICO investigation into Act Blue's money laundering schemes. So the money that Kamala has raised has been on the backs of praying elderly men and women that have donated out of the kindness of their heart, $10, $15, $5 or $1. And they take their name, they place their name and launder money, sometimes wears up to 31 times a day. One nurse, it was $220,000 in a year that she had, Project Veritas. James O'Keefe proved this. You guys go to X, check out his page. He's got the facts right there. They've shut JoJo up because JoJo's a rambling, oblivious idiot. He's going to talk. He may not know what the fuck he's talking about, but he would ramble something off, and us, truth seekers, would put that shit together. Find it pretty amazing that they had Hunter Biden and everybody in there in a big old meeting as well, right before all this. Send them to your representatives about Act Blue. Everybody needs to. Okay, good, OG Pimp. So you see, things are starting to make sense now. They had to put Kamala in there. They didn't expect this. They did not expect Trump to live. They don't know what the fuck to do. They're scrambling. They're the rats in the maze now. They're scrambling. Kamala's their best hope for the moment. They can't do nothing too stupid. You see what I'm saying? They can't do nothing too quick. And they don't know, running out of time. Hey, you're on God's time, babies. You're on God's time. You are never on your time. You're on His time in everything. Go on, keep playing. And God's going to show you. He's going to show up and show you exactly what He's capable of doing. But He spared Trump because He knew the American people needed Him. And He knows that Trump is good for America. Yeah, Act Blue, in saying that Act Blue is lying about on the elderly. Oh, yeah. That one nurse and that one elderly lady, it broke my heart when I heard her crying. She was just absolutely in tears. And it's not that they're taking money from these people, but they are saying these people are donating up towards $30,000, $40,000 in a year, $200,000 in a year, some $5,000 in a day, daily for the entire year. That is impossible. That is just, a person would literally, they did the math, would have to be sitting at home, not working, donating at least 31 times in a day or more for that to be factual. And think about it. The IRS will look at this shit too for your donations. Think about it. They will look at it. And that one lady said that they were trying to take her Medicaid away. Why would they be trying to do that? Because these assholes are using your information. But see, they already had their army ready. So mass casualties would have happened at an obscene amount. Then they would have been afraid. MAGA would have went crazy. They would have blamed it on Iran by one event. By one event would have changed the course of history, would have changed the course of this election, would change the course of our lives and the future generations. But God is not done with America. He spared us. Sure did. He spared us. I thank you, Lord. I thank you, Lord. Well, hustle today in Minnesota, they have decided on a birth certificate when a mother or father, they're striking out in line 3 the word mother and inserting in place, therefore, following words, person who gave birth on a birth certificate. You're no longer listed as a mother on a birth certificate. Striking out in lines 4 and 9 the word father each time it appears, and inserting in place thereof in each instance the following words, other parent. So you're not going to be considered a father anymore. You'll be considered just the other parent. How do you feel about that, fathers and mothers? Striking out in line 7 the words mother. If the mother and inserting in place of the following person who gave birth, if that is the person. Okay, here we go. Another one. I hereby further amend that by striking out in line 17 the words mother of a child and inserting in place thereof the following words, person who gave birth. In Section 6, said action Section 1, said Chapter 209C. As so appearing, it is hereby further amended by striking out in lines 11 and 12 the words a man and woman and inserting in place thereof the following word, persons. Persons. person. Not mother, not father, not male, not female, not man, not woman. Mm, how dare they? Now, this is from Polymarket. This is one of your most trusted polls that you can find, guys. Trump is the favorite to win 4 in swing states against Kamala Harris. Wisconsin, Arizona. And I believe we're having issues with our Israel, and what have went on there. This just come across. Let me get it. Breaking news. A mass casualty incident has been declared in Sterling, Virginia after numerous people were exposed to hazardous toxic chemicals. I have not found any information. This is breaking news. It is coming out right now. Mass casualties incident has been declared in Sterling, Virginia after numerous people were exposed to hazardous toxic chemicals. That is going on right now. Can someone pull up any information, send it to me? Let's see, Sterling, Virginia. All right, let's see. I'll see if I can pull it up. Hang on. It is a slap in women's faces. Can you guys see that? I'll see if I can read it to you. Is that a ammonia leak at a Sterling manufacturing plant? Oh no. Fire and rescue crews from around the region are on the scene of a mass casualty incident at Sterling manufacturing plant following an ammonia leak. First responders were called to 22445 Suez Vide Lane in Sterling about 8:36 p.m. So this just happened about an hour ago. For a hazardous material spill, actually less than that because they're an hour different. According to a social media post by Sterling volunteer, the address belongs to Cuisine Solutions, a manufacturer of sulfied foods. Let's see if we can hear what they're saying. Oh, that's not. As of 10:15 p.m., there were reports of 20 or more patients affected. That's all they've got right now, guys. That's all they've got right now. That's all the information that's coming out right now. But you heard it right here first. We need to pray for the families. So there's a lot of devastation and a lot of stuff that's going on in our country. Now, I want to recognize a mother, father, just a person, not a man or woman, person who gave birth. That's what you are called now, mothers. You are a person who gave birth. You're not a mother in this state. Wow. Not today, Satan. All right, Jen, did you pop something in there? I'm going right to it. Wow, this is crazy. Undercover officers were posing as sex buyers at last week's Comic Con event in California, rescued human trafficking victims, including a 16-year-old girl, and made multiple arrests, prosecutors said Wednesday. A task force involving local San Diego police, federal officers, and naval intelligence arrested 14 people who were attempting to buy sex at the giant pop cultural gathering. 10 victims were rescued, 9 of them adults, said California Attorney Rob Altina. Thanks, Jan. I appreciate that. These people have lost their mind. These people have really lost their freaking minds. Oh, I think I found that video where I started out. I was wanting to show you where they were giving Trump all kinds of hell at saying he said what he said. I don't know. It's ridiculous. You sent me that one on Telegram? Good night, MAGA. Thank you. Oh, always. You're always welcome. Second to the last post. Oh, we now have to go to it. Oh, you did send it to me. "26 people have been hospitalized. 50 are being evacuated on site. 50 more have been hospitalized and checked. Primarily inhalation hazard, so inhaling it is bad. Getting it out of your skin. It's attracted to moisture, so you may get burns if it's on your skin." Loudoun County Fire and Rescue Assistant Chief Travis Peru told reporters at the scene it was pure ammonia that was leaking in the building. The incident has also led to road closures in the vicinity. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office has reported that Moran Road at Broderick Drive is closed due to fire department's activity and has advised the public to avoid the area. Authorities are working to contain the leak and ensure the safety of the surrounding. Further updates will be provided as more information is made available. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. Well, everyone, I wanted to say thank you tonight. That's the end of our show. I'm glad I had my kids around that time as well. I am so thankful you guys come in and you sit with me and we talk and you listen. But that was an eye-opener tonight. I believe there were 3 shooters. Absolutely, that makes more sense than anything else. And with everything, trajectory, ballistics, and lining up, there's no way Crooks could have hit Trump in the ear. It would have been in his left temple. It was on that side. So the man on the water tower. We need to pray for our country. We need to pray for Trump. My understanding is he's been told not to do any more outdoor venues, but he wants to go back to Butler. He wants to go back to Butler. Oh, you're welcome, Mary Rain. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Jim Pimp Daddy. Bye, MAGA. But everyone, thank you, and have a good Thursday. See, I got the date. I got the day right. I said it was Monday yesterday. No, it's Thursday. We only got 2 more days of the week, and then they're a couple of days off with their break. But I'm thankful for that, guys. And I will be back here tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Love you too, Janine. Didn't see you popping in there, beautiful. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling well. Hope you're feeling good. Good night to you, and God bless. And with that, guys, country crazy.